Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into some really fascinating stuff, from God's plan, from brokenness to dreams fulfilled. We're focusing on how it looks at Joseph's story, in Genesis 36 and 37. And our mission really is to unpack this kind of counterintuitive idea, the idea that God's plan often gets rolling, not from strength or perfection, but surprisingly, from messy, even broken beginnings.
Yeah, anyone familiar with Genesis knows that sudden shift, right?
Yeah.
Chapter 36 gives us Esau's big lineage land power, seems like success, but it's diverging from God's actual promise. And then bam, chapter 37 throws us into Joseph's world, and it's chaotic.
Exactly. And the source we're looking at really leans into that contrast. It's not just like a story change. It suggests it's a deliberate statement. God pivots away from Esau's apparent strength.
And zooms in on Joseph, a 17-year-old kid in a seriously fractured family, hated by his brothers.
Right, yet chosen by God. And that's the core insight the source pulls out. God's plan often kicks off in weakness, not the kind of success we'd normally point to. So let's dig into that first lesson. This contrast between Esau's powerful clan and Jacob's. Well, messy one.
It is messy, isn't it? You've got blatant favoritism, jealousy running rampant, trust completely broken down. It's not exactly a picture of stability. But the source emphasizes that through that chaos, specifically through Joseph, God's promise, his covenant, keeps moving forward.
So it's not just that God can use weakness.
No, it's almost stronger than that. The source suggests weakness is often the chosen place, the crucible for God's work. He doesn't wait for us to get it all together. He dives right into the chaos we usually try to fix or hide. Because his promises aren't based on our perfection, they're based on him. They hold firm even when our relationships are falling apart.
That's huge. So for you listening, if your family background feels complicated, maybe even painful, the message here is don't lose heart. God isn't waiting on the sidelines for things to be perfect. He's likely working right in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
The focus shouldn't just be on fixing what's wrong, but leaning into God's promises that don't change.
Yeah, right. Trusting that your past, whatever it holds, doesn't automatically disqualify you from God's future plans.
Yeah, the source really hammers that home. God's grace is bigger than your backstory. It invites you to see beyond the immediate struggle.
Absolutely. And it really makes you ask, doesn't it? Where do we usually expect to see God working? We look for the big, the orderly, the successful start. But story after story, like Joseph's, point somewhere else. Humble beginnings, often turbulent ones.
Yeah, this definitely challenges our definition of, progress or readiness in God's eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so to the second big idea, right? Joseph gets these dreams. Two pretty clear visions from God about his future. But the reaction, not exactly encouraging.
Not at all. Mockery, rejection from his own family. It couldn't have been easy.
But the source points out the dream itself was real. God had shown him something, even if nobody else got it or believed it.
And this is so key. God often starts with that vision, that call, but the path to fulfilling it, it's rarely a straight line and almost never happens overnight. The source really pushes us to see that time of waiting, the doubt, the struggle. It's not wasted time, it's formation.
Preparation.
Exactly. Think about Joseph Potiphar's house, prison. That wasn't just him being stuck. He was learning administration, patience, how to handle adversity, skills he absolutely needed later on. So what feels like a frustrating delay is often God preparing you, shaping you for what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So applying that, if you feel God has given you a sense of calling, a dream, hold on to it. Even when people around you don't get it or maybe even dismiss it.
The encouragement here is, be faithful right where you are with the tasks in front of you, while you wait for that bigger picture to unfold. And when you feel misunderstood or maybe overlooked, try to remember, God sees the whole journey. He knows the end game, even when all you see is this difficult step right now. Okay, so bringing this deep dive toward a close, the core message from the source seems pretty clear. God's plan often starts small, maybe in unexpected, even messy places. Trust his timing, stay faithful in the process.
And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. How might the things in your life right now that feel like delays or setbacks or even brokenness, how might those actually be the very things God is using? Could they be the preparation ground, the crucible shaping you for something much bigger down the road, just like with Joseph?
It's an invitation to trust the process even when it's tough.